question today about holiness. First of all, what is holiness? And what is the requirement of a believer when it comes to holiness? I've been in churches where Christians, born again, love the Lord, and their holiness is defined by what they were wearing. Hair length, the amount of makeup or not makeup, how much jewelry they have on. And I was like, okay. But what is it when it comes to holiness? Define that in the context biblically, and it may free a lot of believers up here when you explain this, because this is going to help people, not hurt people.
Well, Pastor Sean, when I was in Bible college, our Bible college in San Antonio, which you attended, they came out of United Pentecostalism, right, which does believe that you can't wear makeup, and I could give all the scriptures there, but that's right, not the purpose of the question.
Right.
And if they had long sleeves and whatever, they couldn't wear makeup. And there was actually a guy that came in and preached on Jezebel being thrown off the balcony, okay? And the dogs ate her, but they wouldn't eat her head, they wouldn't eat her hands, or they wouldn't eat her feet. And his whole premise of that was because she had makeup on her face, fingernail polish on her fingers, wow, and nails, you know. The truth is, the mouth that blasphemed the prophets, the hands that shed innocent blood, and the feet that were swift to go do all of that wickedness. And so, but that's what this guy said. And my position, all of that is foolishness, because if the barn needs painting, paint it, man. And my wife is a beautiful woman and has always been a beautiful woman. And when she fixes herself up, man, I mean, it's just really over the top. And that just really helps when you got a beautiful wife and when the stray eye, you know, your eye strays. So, man, whatever you can do to fix that thing up, do it so you can have a healthy relationship. But in the context of the question, okay?
Yeah, what is holiness?
Holiness in the Old Covenant, okay, was what you wore, what you did, how you acted, and that was defined holiness. Just like righteousness was defined if you kept the law, okay? Just like perfection was defined. What was perfection defined about? You couldn't break one law. If you broke one law, you were no longer perfect. So all three of these, righteousness, holiness, and perfection, was having to keep the law by keeping all the ceremonies, keeping all the dress, the garb, how you lived your life. Well, when you come into the new covenant, righteousness is imparted to us. Holiness is imparted to us, okay? And perfection is imparted to us. And by the way, when it says, be perfect as your Father in heaven, I was taught, oh, we can't be perfect. That means God's mature. Be mature like God's mature. That's nonsense. God ain't mature. He's perfect, right? Then people will quote Hebrews 13, without holiness, no man shall see God. Well, let's examine that, okay? If holiness, the word hagios, New Testament, means that when you were born again, God set you apart. I used to teach sanctification was a process. It's not. Read the scripture in Hebrews 2, that the one who's sanctifying and the one who is sanctified are one. If one part of the lump is holy, the whole lump is holy. Hebrews 10:14, by one sacrifice he perfected forever those whom he sanctified. So just like righteousness is not something we have to earn or do to be righteous, he gave us that righteousness. He gives us in the New Testament holiness. He gives us in the New Testament perfection. Okay, so when you go to the scripture in Hebrews 13, without holiness, no man shall see God. Well, it's simple. If you're not holy, it meant that you've never been saved. You've never been set apart unto God.
Set apart.
Right? Set apart unto God. So it doesn't mean if I don't live a certain way. See, religion constantly tries to put the burden back on man. And what the grace of God does is sets us free. So everything we've received from him. In fact, in the Greek, when you look at John 15, without me you can do nothing. Do you know what that word nothing means in the Greek?
Nothing.
That's right.
Amen.